Hello, thank you for watching this video. This is a walkthrough video which introduces the Moodle site I have designed for uh, for demonstration purposes. Usually the video would start here and it would be a walkthrough video for the students to see how to use the site, but for the purposes of this demonstration course I will be explaining how the site has been designed to use technology to enhance learning. First of all, let's have a quick look at a previous Moodle site that I have used. As you can see, this is a traditional type of course that we use in the humanities where basically Moodle is just used as a kind of online version of the overview in which we can embed documents. And it involves lots of scrolling, it's not very interactive, and it doesn't really enhance learning very much at all. So I wanted to see how I could use the advantages that Moodle offers to make a more interactive and useful learning environment. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I changed the design. Then I'm going to discuss how I handle normal kind of housekeeping issues online. Then I'm going to talk about how I made participation and various collaborative exercises that are available on Moodle as an integral part of the course by making them graded. And then I'm going to explain my approach to flipping the classroom and trying to put lectures online so that students can come and we can use the lecture time for extra discussions. So let's begin. First, if you're watching this, you would have pressed the Start Here button, which comes to the walkthrough video. But this is actually designed as an activity, and there are instructions here. Usually this video, when it's made, will be posted here, but in the meantime, it's just held by a picture. The activity requires students to listen to the video and to take notes about what they are required to do. And then I've created a downloadable form which they should fill in, and there should be an upload section in this activity. There's no grade for this activity, but I just want to see that students know what they're doing. So let's have a quick look at the form. As you can see here, I've made a form on Word with instructions, and then it has tables. One little section for each of the type of activities discussed in the video. And it asks questions to students about, for example, what is the purpose, how many posts should they make, what's their rewards when they finish the posts, etc. Okay, what's going on here? So getting back to the video, so that's the introduction assignment discussed. Now let's talk about the design. I've redesigned the design so that students don't see a list of topics as usual. All they see is this, and then they have to click these buttons to go to the different places in the course. As you can see, I've coded them so that collaborative activities are in purple, basic course things are in blue, Start Here and Feedback are here in orange. The lessons are all in black. Facebook is here, and assessment information is here. So it's very easy for students to navigate visually. So let's start with the basic information. I've put the module outline. It's displayed on the site, and students can also download it. But as you can see here, they can also download an icon which is one of the kind of badges which I've hidden around the site for students to hunt down and collect, which is part of my gamification strategy. I've put the learning objectives here, and there's an activity for students to design their own learning activity with instructions about how to do this, and there should again be an uploadable thing here. Now let's go back. The students can download the whole course pack in a zip file, and although in many places the reading assignments are posted individually, this saves a lot of time for students. So let's quickly look at the assessments. Assessment is an important thing, and because I've changed the design of the course, I had to put a button here because the usual Turnitin assignment icon does not show. But this takes the students to their Turnitin submission place, as you can see. So let's go back. As you can see here, There are grades for essays and workshops, and there are grades for in-class participation, but 30% of the grade is for completing the Moodle lessons to make sure that students actually participate in the flipped part of the lecture, and for online participation. And while in-class participation is something I assess subjectively, the online participation is entails students to take part in all of these activities and make a minimum number of posts and comments in order for the activity to be complete. And this can be measured by Moodle. So this is measurable and easily achievable, and students should be able to have a page where they can see how far they're doing with these. So let's have a quick look at the final part in this section, which is the feedback activity. At any point, students can send me feedback, and I've chosen the stop, start, continue format, which I quite like to use in paper in class. The form is submitted anonymously, and it has a number of questions here, and students can add anything else they want. So let's go back. That activity can be done at any time, but I think in week 3 I would ask everybody to do it. So we've talked about assessments. The essay questions are here and could be downloaded. We'll come on to the peer review later, but now it's important to have a quick look at the badges. So badges, I've designed these badges and uploaded them, and you can get one badge for each of these things. So for downloading the readings, for watching the videos, for posting to the resource database, etc. And you can collect all of the theorist icons that have been hidden around the module site. We are studying critical media theory, so I've made a badge for each theorist, which is kind of cute. They're hidden around the site. As you can see, there's one here. For some reason, I couldn't get the link to stick to these pictures, so I made a little link for each of them, and they can be downloaded. This is off the screen here, but as you can see, we've got this badge. And this doesn't want to get out of the way. Okay, so what do students do when they finished? Well, all of these, when you've finished a badge, when you've collected all of these icons, a badge is automatically created, so that this is also assessed. And students have to hunt through the whole course in order to find these badges. So let's go back here. So these badges are given for completing these activities and these activities. So let's look at the activities. As in many courses, students are required to post to the forum. So I've made a theory discussion forum. Each student can post one question and they have to make 3 comments. And I've posted to display that. And once they've done that, they will get a badge. Going here, I've made a keyword wiki. So wikis are very useful for student created content. In this case, I've decided to use it for outlining what keywords come up in the course, because they're quite difficult and they deserve some discussion. But wikis are difficult for students to use if you don't set them up. So I've set up a start page here, and the keywords should be organized by the week they come up in. So I've given a page for each particular week of the course. I've decorated it with a picture, and I've listed some of the keywords that I think are going to come up. The students could add their own. So going back, if we have a look at this overview section, no, hang on a second. If we go to other topics, I've set up a topic describing the theorist badge, which I was talking about before, but then it has some nested articles, and then as you can see here, you have to go and create the page. Because wikis are difficult to use, I've wanted to make it easier for the students to learn how to use it, so I put a link for a video so that the students can watch the video and learn how to use the wiki for themselves. Students have to post students have to post all the keywords for the weeks in which they are presenting in order to pass the keyword wiki. Now I've made another resource, which is a database. I've never used one of these before, but it seems very, very useful. So it's for posting articles and bibliographical information so that students can collaborate and share information that will help them with their research. So I've set it up so that it can be viewed as a kind of list like this, although of course it can be searched. And as you can see, I've uploaded some things, and I've also uploaded another icon for the students to collect here. So they can click on this resource and a badge will appear. I will talk later about how I organize this in another video. Students have to upload at least one resource, or I think 3 resources for this question in order to get their badge. So going back, I've finally made a mind map gallery. So every week we have discussions in class, and I wanted to get students used to using mind maps because they're very useful tools for mapping your ideas. I've put some links, for example, here. This links to an online class page, which you can't see here, which allows you to make mind maps online. And there's another link somewhere here to software which I like to use and which students can download a free version of in order to make mind maps. Students, here is one badge for the students collecting. Here are some mind maps that I've made earlier. So let's see, is this going to work? Okay. As you can see, mind maps are a good way for organized information, and the gallery allows the picture to come up and be viewed, but also to be downloaded. So students have to post one mind map each in order to get their badge. Going back to the resources, the final collaborative activity is that students should use the Facebook page. So I've used Facebook before, and it was a good way to post and share information with students because the students look at Facebook as part of their everyday activities. So I made a closed group for the for the class, and but I found there was limited interactivity. And in order to encourage activity, I've said that students have to post a minimum of 3 assignments and comment on 5 posts. But this cannot be measured directly by Moodle. So I've made this little Facebook activity, which is a checklist, and students can check that they've joined and made a number of posts or made a number of comments. And when this is complete, they will be able to get their badge for this activity. So these are the interactive things that I've set up now. All of these count for 20% for 10% of the students' grades. 20% is for the peer review workshop. So the peer review workshop is just like a normal essay. In this case, I've set up a description so that students have to input a 2,000 word essay, and I've described the topic here with clear instructions about what to do. This is not very useful for a demo because it has different phases, and these have to be set up and turned on at different times by the tutor, so it doesn't really work for demonstration purposes. But once the students have done this, they can then submit it during the submission phase. And then there's assessment phase. And I've set it so that 60% of the grade is for the student's grade for their essay, but 40% of the grade is for their marking, their peer review of other students' essays. And I've broken down a rubric to help them mark it very carefully, and this exercise tends to help students learn how to do their work better by understanding how the criteria against which their work is assessed. So 40% of their grade is worked out automatically by Moodle in relation to how well their grading works. This is quite complicated, and I'll discuss it in another video. So going back to the course, that's 20% of the grade. So I've now discussed all of these, and now I want to move on to the lessons. So the first lesson is just an overview of the whole course, and as you can see, I haven't really moved on in this lesson from the document dump, although I have linked things so that students can download files more easily. For example, that's the module outline. Uh, and in learning objectives, blah blah blah. Here they can download the reading for the week, and are given specific instructions, and they can download another reading, and then there are seminar questions for them to prepare. So this is a very basic approach to online learning. Um, so how do I take this further? Um, this is the panopticon lesson. So I've set these up as lessons. This lesson develops the online function a little bit by adding all the readings, and it's quite simple. Uh, it has a quick question about what they've heard about Foucault to make them think about what they know about the topic before, and there's a non-assessed essay which they have to submit. Um, and then, okay, you have to put something in there in order to submit it. Um, so I then found a way to turn my slides into a presentation that could be embedded in Moodle, and I will talk about how I did that later. This can be brought into full screen, but you probably can't see that very well. So anyway, here I put all the slides. So basically there are just slides, and as you can see, even the animations work. So this is quite good. But again, it's not very interactive, and there's no sound. So a lecture would still be required using this approach. However, I then moved to a pre-seminar activity with some tasks about how to prepare once they've done the readings. So this takes the lesson on a little bit, and let's go to another lesson. So I think lesson 5 is the next one. So in lesson 5, I've got a nice welcome page, which again has the list of readings. And then I have a task, which is to watch a video and take notes. And I've given a downloadable PDF of the slides in case students want it. However, let's go back because this video actually has sounds. Unfortunately, you can't hear the sounds because it doesn't come out on the video software that I'm using. But as you can see, it's a video. I recorded this video and uploaded it onto YouTube and then embedded it. So the actual whole lecture is here, ready for the students to use, to view. I didn't put any questions here, but I added some extra content. These are just slides which have some questions which we could consider before class. And then I added some slides with extra readings. So really what I did was take a very large presentation that I had before and split it up into useful sections, one with the main information and one with additional questions and tips on reading. For example, references are listed here. And again, I've given a downloadable PDF version. So this has taken us to the point where we already have a fairly flipped lecture, but it's not terribly interactive yet. So let's go back. In lesson 4, I made it slightly more interactive. I embed a third-party video from which is very short from YouTube, and ask students to watch it and take notes. And then there are some questions. So I made multiple choice questions here. Ding, 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 ding. There we go. So there were a number of questions which basically help students think through and recall the information that they've learned. So let's do this. And it shows the answer and then gives a reply, and I can edit these replies. So I said, yes, that's right, you really know your heterotopias. Okay. Right, let's do this. Oh, this doesn't seem to work. There we go. If this didn't say no, it should take them on to the next question, but it hasn't done. So Um, so as you can see, these questions are interactive and allow students to recall, but also to think through what they've just learned. Now, here I've put a link for the students to do the reading. So between the first video and the second video, the students should download and read the main essay for this week. So if students follow this through, it would be a quite useful learning path. Now, I had a bit of a problem making this video. I used a different software, and as you can see, it hasn't embedded properly, and I'm very disappointed. I even put a link here so that you could open it in a new window, and this software, as you can see, requires Flash Player, so I don't recommend using that software. Um, okay, so I seem to have clicked out of that lesson, and I don't want to go through the whole thing again. Do I want? So I'm going to do want to. Right, that's great. It takes me back to the page I last saw. So um, I've put the slides as a PowerPoint, but I've also this lecture was created using a PDF PowerPoint in which I recorded my lecture in the PowerPoint and saved it as a file. So this downloadable, and students with PowerPoint can watch that as a slideshow and listen to the lecture. So again, that is not as successful as the other video technology that I made. And then finally, we come to pre-seminar readings, and students are given a choice of downloadable things, and even an assignment to get offline and actually go into the library. So the final lesson, which is actually lesson 2, has a lot of interactivity. It's got a lot of questions. So we has a lesson plan to say what we're going to do, and then it has all of these sections that students have to work through. So here I've just uploaded slides, but it would be better, I think, to make little videos here. But the students can work through these slides, and then there's a little activity. So they just have to write a 300-word answer, which we will submit. And then there are more slides for another topic covered in the lecture, which students can work through. And we can give an answer here. And it says, it gives the right answer. It says it's incorrect and says what the right answer, well, it doesn't say what the right answer should be. Okay, because it gives them an option to try again. But we're going to skip to the next question. Oh, this is not good. Right, it doesn't seem to want to let us get out. So we're going to have to go back in and skip to this. And so anyway, we have to go through all these lessons, and then let's go here to political economy. So we've already skipped the questions here for propaganda. More slideshows, and then if we click next, then there are more questions again. So this breaks down the information. In this lecture, I've broken down the information into smaller PowerPoint slideshows or videos, and then given more questions after each one. Rather annoyingly, and I don't know why, the no, I just want to go back button doesn't seem to work here. But as you can see, this is my final version of the interactive lesson, which involves short videos with questions between them. So I've moved from this lesson, where I just basically had the files online for students to download, to adding slides, to adding long videos, and then to adding greater interactivity with short videos and questions between them. So this is my course. Thank you very much for viewing so far. I shall now bring the exercise to a close.